The sun was setting in Mwaku village, casting a golden glow over the thatched roof huts. The villagers were returning from their farms, laughing and chatting. But deep inside Mama Nkem's hut, fear gripped her heart. Her newborn baby, Osondu, was not like other babies. He never cried, he never laughed. He only stared with eyes too sharp for a child. Mama Nkem had heard stories of babies who were not truly human, evil babies, spirits in disguise. But she shook her head and whispered to herself, "This is my child, my own blood." That night, when the moon was high, strange things happened. Chickens died in their coops without a sound. A strong wind blew, though the trees did not sway, and from inside the hut, a low chilling laugh filled the air. Mama Nkem sat up, her heart pounding. The sound was coming from Osondu's cradle. She rushed to him, but he was fast asleep. His tiny hands curled into fists, yet the laughter still echoed. She backed away slowly, trembling. The next morning, she ran to the village priest, Dibia Okeke. "Dibia, something is wrong with my child," she cried. "At night I hear him laughing, but his mouth does not move." Dibia Okeke's eyes darkened. He waved his staff over a bowl of water, and the reflection of a dark shadow flickered in the ripples. "This child is not an ordinary child," he said. "He carries the spirit of the wicked." Mama Nkem gasped, her hands flying to her chest. "What must I do? I cannot harm my own son." The Dibia sighed. "We must watch him. If he shows up more signs of evil, we will have to act. Until then, keep a close eye on him." Mama Nkem nodded and hurried home. That night she barely slept. Every rustle of the leaves, every hoot of the owl made her shiver. Just before dawn, she woke up to a strange sound. It was Osondo's voice, but it was deep, not the voice of a baby. "Mama, why are you afraid?" the voice whispered. She screamed and ran out of the hut. Neighbors rushed out with burning torches, their eyes wide with fear. "What is happening?" they asked. She pointed at the hut, unable to speak. Then suddenly, Osondo's small figure appeared at the entrance, staring at them. The firelight cast shadows on his face, making him look even more terrifying. The villagers gasped. "No child should walk at such an age," someone shouted. Dibia Okeke arrived, holding a white chicken. "We must act now," he declared. He raised his staff and began chanting. The wind howled through the village, sending dust into the air. Osondo's face twisted in rage. "You cannot stop me," he growled, his voice no longer that of a baby. The people screamed. Some ran, others held onto each other. Mama Nkem fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face. "Please, let my child be free." Dibia Okeke threw the chicken into the fire. A great wail filled the air, shaking the ground. Osondu let out an ear-piercing scream, and suddenly he collapsed. When the dust settled, the baby looked normal again, his chest rising and falling gently in sleep. The villagers whispered amongst themselves, "Was the spirit gone?" Mama Nkem picked up her son, holding him close. Dibia Okeke nodded. "For now, he is free. But be watchful. Evil never truly disappears." From that day, Mama Nkem watched Osondu closely. The village returned to peace, but she knew deep down something still lurked in the shadows, waiting for another chance to rise. Months passed, And Osondu grew like any other child. He played with the other children, laughed and even cried when he fell. Mama Nkem was relieved, but deep inside she never forgot the terror of those nights. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, Osondu sat alone under the great Iroko tree, humming a tune no one had ever taught him. A cold breeze blew through the village, and the air grew heavy. Suddenly, his eyes turned black like the night sky, and he whispered, "I have returned." A woman passing by saw him and screamed. Dropping her basket of yams, the villagers came running, their faces filled with horror. The Biaokeke arrived again, this time with a gourd filled with sacred water. The spirit still lingers, he declared. Mama Nkem clutched her chest. "No, please, not again." Osondu turned to the Dibia and smirked. "You cannot stop me twice. This body belongs to me now." The Dibia swiftly poured the sacred water over Osondu's head. The child let out a sharp cry as black smoke rose from his skin. The wind roared through the village, knocking down baskets and sweeping dust into the air. The people held their breath, watching in terror. Then, just as suddenly as it had begun, everything stopped. Osondu collapsed to the ground, his breathing shallow. Dibia Okeke lifted the boy and whispered, "The battle is over, but we must remain vigilant. Evil never dies, it only waits." Mama Nkem hugged her son, tears streaming down her face. The villagers sighed in relief, but they would never forget the evil that once lurked in their midst. And as the moon shone down on Umuaku village, the shadow moved silently through the trees, waiting for another soul to claim.